Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and today we are going to shine the spotlight on one Chris Bumstead. He is your six-time Classic Physique Division Olympia champion. He won 6 Olympia titles in a row, and then he retired. He got on the microphone, I'm sure by now you know, and then he retired, right next to Bob Ciccarello. And you know what? I haven't been giving him much love on my channel as of late, because I am secretly very upset about the hair. I truly wanted to see, I could see his hair creeping up. He was going bald. I wanted to see the bald Chris Bumstead. It would have looked so classic. With the mustache, like one of those old-timey strong men. So sadly, that is one thing that we will never see. But I'm going to forget about that. Yeah. How was his physique? The last time on the Olympia stage, did he look as good as he's ever been? Well, today, we're going to line up all of his Olympia winning versions, just the winning versions, and we can decide for ourselves when he was at his prime. But first, let's do a little bit of history behind Bumstead's Olympia wins. 2019, his very first ever title. He picked up the win, defeating the current champion at that time, Breon Ansley. So that's interesting. And then le boom. I say le boom because he's Canadian, and a lot of French people up there. 2020, he exploded in size. Wow, what a difference indeed. Terrence Ruffin played second fiddle to Chris Bumstead that year. Following year, 2021, he had a strong hold on that title. I remember making videos thinking, he's not as good, but he still dominated. But having said that, 2021, another title, chalk up another title, and chalk up another second place finish for Terrence Ruffin. So that guy was in the mix there a couple of years. 2022. This is a good version, I believe. Wasn't this the bicep tear? I think it was. His bicep never looked so good. Anyway, he definitely did a good job on coming in, conditioned, peeled each and every time. Ramon Dino, he was second prize at the 2022. 2023, I believe there was a notable difference, and we can see all that anyway in the side-by-side comparison. But yes, 2023, last year, perhaps Chris Bumstead's very best. And then just this past weekend, I just loved his balding look. It was just, could have waited. Should have waited. He'd have been even balder this year. But yes, physique-wise, no, and he grew that mustache in extra thick too. But physique-wise, I think he looks as good as he's ever looked. Today, now, just this past weekend. Let us throw all of these Chris Bumsteads. Have you ever seen 6 Bumsteads on one screen? I haven't, until now. You can see a notable size disadvantage for 2019. He was very slender. And in 2020, his very first title defense, his second title win, looks like he's at his biggest. Look at the size of the legs. 2022, little slight in the quads. You can definitely see that. Aside from 2019, we'll kind of not count that one. He's not as good. But the other versions all look pretty tight condition-wise. I mean, those midsections. Look at 2024 and tell me that his lats, the V-taper, doesn't look as good. And the wheels look good, too. So Chris Bumstead, I mean, not too many Olympia champions, if any, won 6 titles. And they all look pretty darn good. That 2019 sticks out like a sore thumb. Just not as muscular, especially in 2020, right next to it. I mean, that's incredible. Incredible. So yeah, 2021 by the looks of it, or 22 rather, by the looks of it, A little slight in the wheel department. And 2023, that's maybe my favorite. 2020, that's my favorite. In the front double bicep pose, though. We didn't do all of these shots, but we did a few. Let's look at the back. The back is very important. And actually bring those numbers back up here, the years, because that's very important too. Wow. I thought 2019 looked little spindly from the front, with all due respect, Bumstead. I mean, geez Louise. But I think it's okay when I'm calling him spindly next to himself. Look at the Clydesdale of Bumstead in 2020. They all look slender compared to 2020. I don't know what he did. Was his condition up close not as tight, so he was able to look bigger? I mean, look at the wheels, guys. Look at 2021. Slender. 2022, slender. You could see that from the front. The wheels. 2023, a little thicker. You can see the space in between his legs is a little bit closer there. And then 2024, maybe his best, aside from 2020. I still say, I'll argue, 2020, Chris Bumstead from behind. I mean, it's a battle for second place. Obviously, last place goes to 2019. Not even close. Is his back at its best right now? It's better than 2021. Maybe 2022-ish. With better legs. I think his legs look better than they have in 4 years. So 2020, Chris Bumstead, it's my favorite. I would say for sure. Let's look at one more pose. Side chest development. This is interesting. This is interesting indeed. Now from the side, sure, 2020, his quads are blockbustery. Round, thick and full. Good kind. But you look at not so much 2021. I think 2021 might have been not his best at all. Muscle-wise condition. But look at 2022. The condition of the quads. 2023. And hey, heck, 2022 is pretty dry. Maybe his driest condition-wise. Very separated quads. And by this year, 2024, striations in the glutes. Absolutely. I mean, he's more conditioned, but it's classic physique. Listen to me arguing for 2020. It's classic physique. Shouldn't this be the standard for condition-wise? No. Is it just me? And it could be. It could be just me. But is there some clay involved in the rear delts for 2020? Because you do a comparison with, say, 2023, whereas delts do look a little undersized. I like the overall physique 2023, but delt for delt, maybe not the best. Of course, he is posing at a different angle as well. But let me know. Is that slapped on some clay? Looks like it. I don't know if there's any oil reserves up in Canada or not. No? I stole that from Louis Marco. So Chris Bumstead, from his humble beginnings as Olympia champion in 2019, to perhaps his greatest ever version, perhaps a version that will never be touched in the men's classic physique division, to his final days. And you know what? Like I mentioned earlier, not many, if any, that I can think of anyway, Olympia champions that held their condition for 6 years in a row and remarkably dominated in their division. So Chris Bumstead, hey, I wish nothing but the best for this man, and I hope one day he decides to just shave it off and give us the bald Chris Bumstead that we all wanted. And you never know. He could return. Arnold Schwarzenegger retired after 6 wins. He came back. He won one more. One more event. One more event. That doesn't go very good. One more pose. Chant that next time you see Bumstead. One more pose. One more pose. Have a nice one.